How's everyone doing? Today I have a massive 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray collection update with 20 pickups right there. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. First up is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is my favorite Christmas movie, and to me, the quintessential Christmas movie. It's a Wonderful Life from Frank Capra. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. There's the quote right there on the back. And I have so many different editions of this movie. This is one that I collect. There's a few different movies I collect. John Carpenter's The Thing, which is my all-time favorite movie. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because it was one of the earlier horror movies I ever saw. And then It's a Wonderful Life. There's a few others I collect, but you know, if it's an all-time favorite of mine, I will collect different editions of it. But this is a really nice 4K Ultra HD Steelbook. I love that shot right there, very iconic. James Stewart, Donna Reed. Let me know what your favorite Christmas movie is. Let me know what your favorite James Stewart movie is. He's perfect as like the everyman, especially in this role, George Bailey. But I will go ahead and show you. I keep the wraparound J cards. I just fold them and put them inside the Steelbook. And here are a few more holiday favorites right there. And it does have a mini poster in here, which I will show you. And again, that iconic classic poster artwork. And it does have interior artwork. The scene at the end right there. Again, I love this movie so much. It's one, you know, I watch every year. It comes on. I make sure to watch it. Sometimes I feel like they don't do a great job of advertising when it comes on TV anymore. I feel like they used to, but now you got to be like lucky to catch it. But you know, that's why physical media will always be number one. You don't have to worry about things being edited out, taken down, any kind of referendums or PSAs added in. As it's originally intended to be viewed. But love this Steelbook. Very happy to add it to the collection. And next up is Requiem for a Dream, directed by Darren Aronofsky, who directed Black Swan, which is another favorite of mine. This is definitely my favorite that he's done. Mother is another one that that he directed, but I wasn't a fan of that one. All the religious overtones were so, you know, in your face. It was just a bit much. I really like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, and Stephen McHattie was excellent in Mother. I think he's a really talented actor, kind of an underrated actor. He's been around for a long time, great Canadian actor. I remember seeing him way back in, you know, Death Valley, and there's been other like low-budget horror movies he's been into. But I really enjoyed him in Pontypool, kind of an underrated horror movie for sure. But he's been in so many movies, great actor. But Mother, to me, again, I didn't like the execution of it. The religious symbolism was just so overt. It's just, I didn't care for that movie at all. And I know most people seem to. Let me know what you thought on Mother. I feel like, again, that's such a polarizing movie, but every time now I think of Darren Aronofsky, I think about a lot of the movies that I really love from him, and then that movie. I feel like that was the one movie in his filmography that just really stands out for me, just loathing it, essentially. I did appreciate the cinematography. I liked a lot of the acting as well in there. But yeah, for me, I thought Mother was a bit pretentious and art housey and not what I was expecting. And again, the religious overtones were just so in your face about it. But I do like Darren Aronofsky as a director. Again, Requiem for a Dream is my favorite. But Black Swan is an incredible modern classic for me. Great psychological thriller. He also directed The Wrestler, Fountain, Pie. So he has a great filmography. For me, the one bump was Mother, but I know it's more widely loved, I feel like, from what I've seen and heard review-wise. But this one, to me, I love the cast in here. And just the ending with Jared Leto's arm, just gets me every time, you know, with addiction. Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly, Ellen Bernstein, Marlon Wayans, and who knew Jordan Catalano would be out here winning Oscars later in his career, but he's actually a great actor. But at this one, I love the visuals here. I love the message here. And, you know, Jennifer Connelly's scene towards the end of the movie with the other girl too. But this is an all-time classic. This was like a life-changing movie for me. There's several life-changing movies. Like I put Donnie Darko on that list too. It just blew me away when I first watched it. This is the 20th anniversary. So had to pick that one up. Next up is Lone Survivor, directed by Peter Berg and starring Mark Wahlberg, based on a true story. There's 3 of these Peter Berg directed, Mark Wahlberg starring, based on true story movies. And I feel like the best Mark Wahlberg movies acting-wise are directed by Peter Berg. Deepwater Horizon, Lone Survivor, and then Patriots Day. So I think for whatever reason, they work so well together, and Peter Berg brings out the best acting-wise from Mark Wahlberg. I never thought he was a great actor, but I thought he had great screen presence. And Peter Berg, also a good, talented actor. I remember him back in the day in Shocker. That's a classic from Wes Craven right there. But this, again, based on the true story about the Navy SEALs and their mission to take out some Al-Qaeda operatives. And, you know, they have to fight to survive when things go wrong. And I just love the message here. I love the cast here too. Taylor Kitsch, Ben Foster, Emile Hirsch, Eric Bana. So the cast is incredible here. I always love Emile Hirsch, Into the Wild, that soundtrack, that movie, the story of it as well. Taylor Kitsch, I really like him as an actor. I feel like John Carter kind of unfortunately negatively impacted his career, but I don't think that was his fault at all. That was a really good movie. It was just mishandled, and you know, the marketing was terrible for it. They didn't market it enough. It's supposed to be this big blockbuster. That was a big fail on the part of Disney right there. But Ben Foster, too, I think he's an incredible actor. I think he's underrated. He's been around for so long. He deserves more leading roles, but I definitely enjoy him and everything that he's done. Let me know what your favorite Ben Foster movie is. Let me know what your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie is. Let me know what your favorite Peter Berg movie is. Let me know what your favorite based on a true story movie is. But Ben Foster, he was the stranger character in 30 Days of Night, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, my favorite vampire movie. Would highly recommend the heck out of that one. I just loved his performance in that one too. He plays a lot of gritty roles, and I think he does so very well. And again, another strong performance from him here in Lone Survivor. Next up is Life of Pi from Ang Lee. Let me know what your favorite Ang Lee movie is. My top 2 would be Ice Storm and Ride with the Devil, but he's done some amazing films. And Life of Pi was just so absolutely visually stunning, and just the messages here. I love how, you know, it comes together at the end. Just incredible. I am so excited to check this out in 4K Ultra HD. I'm expecting, you know, great things from this transfer, and this is the next Avatar, Visual Miracle. Yeah, I've seen it before on Blu-ray, and I was blown away from that, so I'm definitely excited. And again, the HDR is a big selling point for 4K. And then, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, older movies, you know, how are they going to look on 4K? They look amazing. Older movies can really benefit more than newer movies oftentimes for 4K releases. But yeah, the HDR is the big selling point, so really excited for this one. Again, a visually stunning movie, and I'm expecting big things for this 4K. Next up is Independence Day, 20th Anniversary Edition. A bunch of bonus features on here too. And, you know, this is a classic. Everybody knows this one. Let me know what your favorite Will Smith movie is. You know, I never hear anybody really talk about Where the Day Takes You. But I like when he does dramatic roles too, and he can do action. I Am Legend is a favorite of mine. I know not everybody enjoys that one, but a great Richard Matheson adaptation from the novel of the same name. Several different iterations of it. Omega Man with Charlton Heston, Vincent Price, and Last Man on Earth. There's been some other low-budget ones, but those are the main ones. But for me, I Am Legend with Will Smith is by far the best. But this is a classic right here. The sequel, not so much. Sequel is skippable. But basically, you know, aliens attacking Earth, and you know, we have to fight to survive. And I love the cast here too. Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, Robert Loggia, Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid is so good in this. But yeah, Judd Hirsch, just everybody, Vivica A. Fox in here. But to me, this is just an all-time classic. You got to watch this every, you know, July 4th, Independence Day. And I love the heck out of this one. It includes the newly restored extended and theatrical cuts. So a lot of bonus features here too. I definitely appreciate when they include the bonus features for movies that I enjoy. I like checking them out, finding behind the scenes information and seeing different shots and scenes, the production, you know, interviews from the cast. Sometimes they revisit and stuff like that. Big fan of that. A lot of times I've checked out special features for movies I didn't even enjoy just out of curiosity's sake, and sometimes I like the special features better than the actual movie. Next up is Lucy. I feel like there's been a big wave of recent female-led action movies. Red Sparrow, Atomic Blonde, Lucy. There's been a few others, but to me, those are like some of the standouts right there. Atomic Blonde especially, I was really surprised by that one. But yeah, Lucy with Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. I feel like Scarlett Johansson's been doing a lot of action movies recently, you know, of course, Black Widow and, you know, the standalone movie, and then with the Marvel movies, Lucy, but she did the live action take of Ghost in the Shell as well. But I love the visuals here too. And it's, you know, another concept of using more of your brain's capacity. And she becomes, you know, kind of like a crazy killer right here, and trying to get to the bottom of certain aspects and details. And Morgan Freeman, always enjoy him and everything that he's done, even if it's a supporting role. But yeah, I really like that concept. There's other movies that have done similar with using, you know, more of your brain's capacity. And I thought that was really cool. Great thrilling movie, moves at a frenetic pace, great tension throughout. And Scarlett Johansson is amazing. I really liked Scarlett Johansson in Under the Skin, which is a kind of like art house alien horror movie. I feel like that's another polarizing love it or hate it kind of movie, but I definitely enjoyed that one for what it was. I really actually was surprised by how much I enjoyed that one. But Lucy, I love the slipcover to this too. This is another one that I expect to look visually stunning in 4K. Next up is Hellboy. This is the newest Hellboy with Hopper from Stranger Things right here, David Harbour. I love Ron Perlman in this role. I don't think David Harbour was terrible in this role, but I don't know, it's hard to compare the two. I think it had great visuals here. I think it just falls a bit flat, especially in comparison to the previous two Hellboy movies, Hellboy and then Hellboy Golden Army. But yeah, this one though, I like the cast. Mila Jovovich is in here. And I remember Mike Mignola way back in the day, you know, the comic books and stuff. Hugely popular. He's done other stuff too, but Hellboy is iconic when you think of him. But this one, there's like a Blood Queen played by Mila Jovovich, who's resurrected. And there's like this crazy past, and I remember there's like a tree here. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's just all kinds of havoc, and she has all these, you know, supernatural powers, and of course Hellboy has to stop her. But I remember, you know, great fight sequences, great visuals, but it just falls a bit flat story-wise. So yeah, I was expecting a little bit more from it. It's still decent to put on for popcorn entertainment and watching the action sequences and seeing this character again. I would love to see this character in more movies, but I feel like Ron Perlman can still do this role. I don't think it was a terrible casting with David Harbour. I just think it's kind of tough to live up to Ron Perlman's performances for the first two. I think he just adds a little bit of that gravitas, and I think he's a tremendous actor. He's been around for a long time. I remember him back in the day in the Beauty and the Beast TV show, but of course in Sons of Anarchy too, Clay. But he just adds some of that gruff and, you know, gravel and grittiness. I think David Harbour kind of has that look, but it just doesn't always fully deliver on it. I thought it was decent, but it fell a bit flat. Again, I like the visuals, the fight sequences, seeing that character, and a lot of the people involved in it, but wanted more from it for sure. Next up is Skyscraper with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I think The Rock is very talented. I think he can do a bunch of different roles, from dramatic to comedic to, you know, action oriented. He does a lot more action and comedic roles, but I'd love to see him start doing something in the horror realm. But yeah, the big scene right here is him jumping off that crane onto the other building. The plot is kind of secondary in this one. It's something that we've seen before. He's like a head of security for this big building, and he was a war veteran. He's missing a leg up in this one, and he's basically being framed for things going wrong here and people trying to take over the tower, and he has to get his family out and also fight to survive against the bad guys. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this one. I saw it when it came out, and I just remember it had some great, you know, tension and crazy scenes, especially the scene that they showed in the trailer. They hype up a big amount, and, you know, they even show it in the back right here. Some great visuals for it, but overall, again, I felt like the plot was secondary. It's just all about, you know, pushing the action forward. But The Rock can definitely carry a movie. I think that was the case here too. He was carrying this movie for sure. Let me know what your favorite movie from The Rock is. You know, one that I really love is The Rundown with Sean William Scott and The Rock in there, and Christopher Walken in there too. But the movie Faster was, I think, an underrated action movie with The Rock. Really good kind of revenge tale too. Let me know what your favorite modern action movie is. For me, the Raid movies, hands down. Everybody talks about John Wick. I just thought those movies were just so derivative. I'm not a big Keanu Reeves fan acting wise. I feel like you can put another actor in that role and the movie would be so much better. But yeah, it's just, there's going to be 4 of those John Wick movies now, and I just feel like there's little details that are changed, but they're just so similar, so derivative. He gets shot out 18 million times and he still lives. I get it. You have to suspend disbelief, especially for action movies like that. But I don't know. I like the grittiness of the Raid movies a little bit better. And just, you know, the fight sequences were so amazing, so well choreographed in those ones. And I know there's great choreography in the fight scenes in John Wick too, but I just highly prefer the Raid movies. But yeah, the Skyscraper, you know, it's a action movie starring The Rock and some great visuals and fight sequences and crazy scenes over the top. You know, and this I do like the building itself too, and the security and the lockdown, and all the different security aspects here. So yeah, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into for a movie like this. I definitely wanted more from it overall. Next is Hancock. I know they were talking about making a sequel for this, and I would actually love to see that. Again, let me know what your favorite Will Smith movie is. Let me know your favorite Charlize Theron movie, Monster. You know, she won an Academy Award for that. She's a very talented actress. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Kind of like a reluctant, you know, anti-hero, and kind of, you know, dark comedy as well. He's essentially like a superhero, and he's tired of dealing with people's crap, essentially, and he's kind of, you know, misunderstood. And he kind of begrudgingly helps people out, but he finds out more about his history and connection to other people in this cast as the film progresses. And he, you know, finds out a big secret about his past. And I really love the way this played out. I thought it was really creative and interesting. And this is directed by Peter Berg. I've talked a lot about Peter Berg. Let me know what your favorite Peter Berg directed movie is. And again, you know, did Lone Survivor. I think he's a really talented actor and director. But directing wise, he's been just doing so many amazing things, but really enjoyed the performance from Will Smith here too. I think a lot of people think of him, you know, in these action roles, but he can do great dramatic roles too. Next up is Hell or High Water. This movie really blew me away. A really gritty, dirty movie, and I feel like somewhat relatable for, you know, people, you know, losing their homes and getting, you know, the places foreclosed on, and people feeling desperate. I feel like you hear about that all on the news, like all the time, terrible things happening with the housing market and stuff like that. But, you know, you can look at it different ways that, you know, they should have known what they were getting themselves into with certain, you know, signing these different, you know, agreements and stuff. But again, I love the performances here from Chris Pine and Ben Foster, especially. Ben Foster, again, I talked about, I'm a big fan of him acting wise. And then Jeff Bridges here too, who was hunting down the 2 brothers played by Ben Foster and Chris Pine. And this is written by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote both of the Sicario movies, Wind River. He was co-creator for the TV show Yellowstone, which is the only TV show I watch currently on air. Love the heck out of that show. Kevin Costner, Kelly Riley, the cast in there is amazing, dealing with this family-owned ranch and people trying to encroach and take their land, and all the different dramatics that happen there. A lot of violence and romance, but fantastic show, Yellowstone. Highly recommend that. So basically, the brothers, you know, rob a bank and things go wrong, and they have shootouts, and, you know, Texas Ranger right there, Jeff Bridges, has to stop them. Ben Foster is, you know, an ex-con, kind of out of control. And you know, they kind of go back and forth, and I like the interaction. I love the setting for this too. I just, you know, it felt just dirty and gritty, and kind of, you know, some washed out hues, which I think reflect the bleak tone for sure. And just, you know, showing the family bond, and doing what they have to do to try to, you know, make sure the bank doesn't take their land. They resort to robbing a bank, and they have to pay the consequences. But I definitely think that Taylor Sheridan has a great mind, especially for like the Western genre and modern Westerns and stuff like that. I think it just, you know, he brings it right to the page to film, and whenever it's adapted, I just feel like it works so well. So I thought this was another really gritty take of that. Hell or High Water, kind of like a modern Western feel to it, and I really enjoy the performances here. Next up is The Magnificent Seven, another Western movie. This is a remake. I have not seen this one yet. I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. I like the cast here: Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke. This is an Antoine Fuqua film. Let me know what your favorite film from Antoine Fuqua is. And Peter Sarsgaard's in here. Vincent D'Onofrio. Let me know what your favorite Vincent D'Onofrio movie is. What a talented actor. You know, Denzel as well. Let me know your favorite Denzel movie. And Ethan Hawke is an excellent actor as well. Let me know what your favorite Ethan Hawke movie is. And Chris Pratt has come a long way since Parks and Rec. He blew up with Guardians of the Galaxy and in the Jurassic Park movies. he always seemed very likable, and all of his roles, he seemed to add a genuine sense of humor to it. And that looks to be the case here from the trailer. So I'm definitely excited to check this one out with all the different cast and you know, the interactions and things like that. I wonder who's going to play the Steve McQueen character. I'm assuming Chris Pratt. And Antoine Fuqua is another one of those directors that likes to work with a lot of the same actors. Obviously, he feels that they bring out some of the best in the film that they're working on. He directed Denzel in both Equalizer movies, and he directed Denzel and Ethan Hawke in Training Day. They worked then together and now again in The Magnificent Seven. So definitely a really good homecoming here, it seems like. And he also directed Ethan Hawke in Brooklyn's Finest, a really top cop drama crime thriller movie that I would highly recommend the heck out of. Very underrated in my opinion. Great cast in that one too. And another Western movie that pops into my mind just now for a good modern Western movie is Hostiles with Christian Bale. If you like the Western genre and you haven't seen Hostiles, I would definitely recommend checking that one out. It's basically these 7 outlaws essentially have to protect this town against an industrialist and all of the people that he hires. And, you know, obviously there's the violent climax and shootouts. And I expect it to be really well done with this new cast right here. So I'm excited to check this one out. Westerns, I didn't used to enjoy them when I was growing up, and now it's become one of my favorite genres. Horror, then sci-fi, then Westerns. Let me know what your favorite Western movie is, especially modern Westerns. I'd like to see more horror Westerns. The Burrowers, Bone Tomahawk, those are a couple really good ones. But I feel like nobody talks about the Burrowers, but if you like horror Westerns, I'd highly recommend that one. Bone Tomahawk, amazing. Next up is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I like this was much better than I was expecting to be. A lot of fun. The Jumanji one as a kid with Robin Williams, classic. This was a great adaptation. They modernized it with the, you know, the video game aspect, and then the different characters in here and how they play that up. Jack Black was so good. I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan. In fact, I think a lot of other actors could have done this role a lot better. But I do like their interactions, especially, you know, off screen when they're promoting stuff too. I feel like that's hilarious stuff they do on social media. But I feel like that was one of the weaker parts though, Kevin Hart's character. I feel like other actors could have done a better job with that role. But I'm also kind of glad they didn't go too over the top. A lot of movies, he just like, it's too much with him. You know, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him acting wise, but I do think he might be better acting than stand-up comedy. I know I'm in the minority in thinking that, but I did enjoy the movie with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell, Get Hard. That one was surprisingly well done. I liked that a lot. They had good cast chemistry and good interactions there. But this one was a lot of fun. I liked seeing them inside the game and all the different characters. And, you know, trying to get out of it and figure everything out and how it all comes together. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I will be checking that out soon to get some good special features here. And then, you know, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and then The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Next up is Hitman's Bodyguard. I just saw the sequel to this, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I thought was terrible. But a lot of people are loving it, saying it's better than the first or just as good as the first. These movies, the plot is secondary. It's all about the action. The action pushes the plot forward. I feel like for the second one, even more so. This one, you know, you had a little bit of the plot going, and they would, you know, pick it up. And the second one, it's just, I feel like it's just, it doesn't even matter. But there's expanded roles for Selma Hayek's character in there, and Tony Banderas is in there, Morgan Freeman. But it's, you know, it's all about the shootouts. It's about the comedic interaction, especially with the two leads, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. I like Selma Hayek a lot. I didn't like her quite as much in the sequel for this one, but Gary Oldman always plays a great villainous character. Let me know what your favorite Gary Oldman movie is. But yeah, I love, it's all about the interaction between them, you know, the chemistry, the comedic moments, and I thought this one did a better job of balancing the action and comedy here. You know, a lot of over-the-top stuff, a lot of cursing, sometimes a bit much. And almost like when I listen to like stand-up comedians, I love stand-up comedy, but sometimes I'll go to different comedy shows and it feels like something I would have done when I was 16, like cursing just for the sake of cursing. It just feels a bit juvenile and a bit forced and cringy and awkward, and it kind of feels like that a bit at times with all the cursing and stuff. It just feels a bit unnecessary and just like, I don't know, it felt like the jokes were kind of written by like a teenager or something. But I think the biggest selling point is the chemistry between the two, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, and balancing out the comedic moments and the action. And it's action overload here. You know what you're getting yourself into with a movie like this. you know, car chases, crashes, shootouts, fight sequences, over the top action by far. I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. Let me know what your favorite Ryan Reynolds movie is. I remember watching him way back in the day on a TV show called Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I remember thinking back then, this guy's hilarious. He should be famous. It took a little bit, but now he's blown up. Obviously, Deadpool and all the different things that he's done. But I think he's very talented. I want to check out the movie Free Guy with him in it, inside like a video game. I like that concept. Hopefully, it will be better than Ready Player One, which look, Ready Player One, they're playing up the nostalgia aspect a lot more, but that movie fell a bit flat for me. Free Guy looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, more self-aware. But yeah, this one, it's popcorn entertainment, action comedy. It's decent for what it is. The sequel, not as much. Next up is The Lincoln Lawyer. I remember seeing this when it came out, but it's been a while now. He's a defense lawyer, one of the top ones for you know, LA Crime, and Ryan Phillippe, who I think actually plays a good, you know, kind of devious character at times. I feel like he should do more of that role. And he basically tries to take advantage of the legal system to help his clients out. And this one's kind of like almost like a cat and mouse game, trying to find out more information about somebody who's accused of an assault and murder. And he's kind of entangled into everything when he's taking this case. I like the supporting cast in here too. Marissa Tomei, John Leguizamo. You also have Josh Lucas, Michael Pena, Bryan Cranston, William H. Macy. That cast alone signed me up. So I thought there were some good performances here, good tension. I remember enjoying it when it first came out and looking forward to revisiting this one. A Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey, also an Oscar winner. All right, all right. Let me know what your favorite Matthew McConaughey movie is. You know, Dazed and Confused is a classic, but he's been in some good movies. For a bit, he was playing a lot of those rom-coms and stuff like that, but he is a talented actor. Just gotta choose the right script sometimes. Next up are Expendables 1 and 2. I like the cast in here. Let me know what your favorite action movie star is of all time, and then modern-wise. It's a shame. I know there's issues with Bruce Willis. I think he wanted more money. I hear he's difficult to work with as well. I remember the Kevin Smith and the Cop Out movie, but I've heard that about him from a lot of different sources. So I feel like he's doing a lot of like direct-to-DVD kind of movies now, Bruce Willis. I feel like it's kind of a shame because these movies were huge blockbusters. I feel he could have, you know, kind of done more with them. He was really good in the Death Wish remake, though. The Bronson remake there. That was surprisingly good. But the Expendables movies, over-the-top action with a great all-star action cast right here. That's what you're signing up for with these movies. I mean, look at this cast. Stallone, you know, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, just everybody. Mickey Rourke in here, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just so many. Hemsworth, you know, Van Damme, just everybody in here. Jet Li even, Terry Crews. It's just all over the top action with great action stars, the explosions, the shootout sequences, all the fight scenes. I think it's a good mixture of the detail and then the black levels and the HDR as well. I think that's something that really is the biggest selling point for 4K, and definitely worth picking up for those reasons. And some good special features on here too. These are the ones that I actually did check out on 4K, and I really enjoyed the transfer in the movies. They're fun time. You know what you're getting yourself into with those kind of movies. Popcorn entertainment, over-the-top action, and that cast. I mean, come on, if you're a fan of action movies, Expendables for sure. Let me know your favorite action movie of all time. I know I asked about modern action movies, but give me your all-time favorite action movie. And then next up are Harry Potter, and the Order of the Phoenix, and the Half-Blood Prince, and then Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. And I'm going to make an admission right here. I have never seen a full Harry Potter movie. I was never a fan of it. I watched parts of it when I was younger, and I just remember thinking, it's just a bunch of pale, sickly-looking British kids riding around on broomsticks. I just didn't get it. It seemed a little bit more, I don't know, juvenile for me. But I remember seeing parts of these ones, and these ones really impressed me. They were darker themed. I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. I feel like when I was younger, I just couldn't really relate to it. It just seemed a little bit more geared towards kids and stuff. But the later ones I've heard are supposed to be better and, you know, darker themed, and that's really what I'm looking forward to. But I will be talking about these all more in depth, and I plan on watching them from the beginning to end in order. And you know, I'll do a whole video dedicated to Harry Potter, talking about my thoughts on all the movies, the franchise overall, and the 4K releases with the transfers. Yeah, you know, I've seen parts on TV. I've seen like majority of some films. Other ones I've just seen a few scenes here and there, but I feel like I've seen, you know, a little bit from every one of them. And I've seen them when they come on TV. I'll watch a little bit of it sometimes. And sometimes, you know, lately I've been getting more into them. Like they had a couple marathons on recently, and I was a little bit more interested in them. So, you know, sometimes you see a movie, you're not in the right mindset or the right time frame, or there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Your tastes, you know, change and cultivate over the years as well. Movies I didn't like when I was younger, now I can appreciate a little bit more. Chasing Amy is one I always think of. I didn't like that movie when I was younger, but now I love the heck out of that movie. So I'm going to, you know, sit down and watch all these in order. I have the first 4 already on 4K, which I've shown in a previous video, but Harry Potter, the last 4 movies right here, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Let me know what your favorite Harry Potter movie is and your favorite character from Harry Potter. So there you go. Those are the 24K pickups. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.